welcome to Better Together Week 2. And today, I think you're gonna love our speakers. Actually, Jamie and I, we had the opportunity and really the privilege to be the speakers this week. And so as we begin to break down the talk and give you these really practical tools, I hope that you'll take notes and you'll talk about in your groups how you can be stronger in your relationship when you do it in community. Today, we're talking about the marriage team. Week 2, Better Together, the marriage team. It was so fun to be able to present and share this week at Church on the Ridge. And as we begin to talk about the marriage team, I want to go back to last week. And hopefully this is how your group starts. What did we learn last week and how we applied it to our life today? So Pastor Charlie and Pastor Sandy did an amazing job presenting, and really they nailed it on the head. Because Jamie and I, we're so different in so many ways. And I know many of you are so different in your own unique ways as well. But that doesn't matter if you have the same foundation.
Yep.
And so that's what makes our marriage work, is our foundation is in Christ. We say no matter what, we're going to put him first. And that's going to be the basis of everything else we build upon. Our communication style, our parenting, our activities, our schedules, our family goals. Everything is based upon this relationship that Christ is our foundation. And so as we talk about it, we've grown tremendous amount here at Church on the Ridge over these past 7-8 years. And really, all of our growth, the majority of our growth has come from attending and hearing, but then growing and being accountable in group, in our community group. And we've been a part of some fantastic community groups because it's not just learning one thing and then forgetting about it. It's learning and then being a part of a community that encourages, that keeps you accountable so that you keep learning it. If you're watching this video, you most likely are already in a community group. So step 1, done. You're in community. And we're going to expand on that community tonight and talk about the marriage team. Because there's really 3 different relationships that you need in your marriage team. First being mentors, second being people to do life with, and the third being someone else to pour into. So let's start with that first connection, that mentorship. Somebody who is speaking into your life. Like any good athlete or any good team, the coach will speak into your life and say things that you may have no idea that you were doing or you were saying, but they're speaking it into your life and they're speaking the hard truth. And so mentorship really begins with this one word, humility.
Yeah.
And when you're humble, the Bible actually talks about how God opposes the proud but draws close to the humble. So the quickest way to bring God into your marriage is to take on this posture of humility. Yes, I need people speaking into my life. Yes, I do need help. God, I'm open to what you would teach me. The opposite is true. The quickest way to put God against you, or put God against your marriage, is pride. Hey, I've got this. I don't need help. I don't need anyone to speak into my life. But we've found some tremendous mentors here at Church on the Ridge. Why don't you share a little bit about some of the mentors that you found?
Yeah, when I first started attending Church on the Ridge, I didn't have a quote-unquote mentor speaking into my life, but I joined the prayer team at Church on the Ridge. And I would just show up, and I was hanging around other women who were probably 15 years farther along in their walk with Christ than I was. And I would just listen to them pray and communicate with Jesus, and inspired me to grow closer to God and to think about that there was a more authentic, a more real relationship out there than I had experienced. And so it was just showing up every week and allowing these women to encourage me and to pray for me and to talk to me and then to be receptive of the advice that they gave me. So that was one really impactful mentorship relationship that I experienced at Church on the Ridge. And now I get to meet with Sandy, and sometimes in my mind I was thinking it'd be so nice to have all these things in common with my mentor, but that is really not the most important piece of having a really good mentor. A good mentor is going to be honest with you, and they're going to say what needs to be said regardless of whether or not you want to hear it. But like Kevin was saying, you have to be humble. You have to go into the relationship humble so that you want to hear that relationship. You want to hear those hard things because you're wanting to be refined and you're wanting to grow. And the second is that they would be farther along in their walk with Jesus than you would, and you trust them. So you trust that what they say is going to be godly wisdom and godly advice. And those are very important things to every mentor-type relationship.
Yeah, and so as you begin to identify those people that you respect, that you are a little bit further along than you, let me just give you 2 quick tips. Number 1 is be proactive with them. Invite them out to coffee, invite them out to lunch or to golf or whatever it may be, and you ask the questions. If you find yourself doing all the talking, you've missed it. And the second thing, this is so critical, but if they give you instruction, do it. I can't tell you how frustrating it is to be on the other side and say, okay, here's your next step. And then we meet again and they haven't done that next step. And what that says to me is you don't value my instruction, you don't value my time, because honestly, probably those people you look up to, they're busy and they're making time to speak into your life. So what you need to do is, like any good coach, they tell you to do something, you do it. So that's the first thing, a mentor relationship. The second thing is other couples to do life with. And I love this. Hebrews 10:24 and 25 says, don't neglect meeting with one another, as some people are in the habit of doing. And I get it. It can be inconvenient. It can be hard. It's easy to go home and watch TV after putting the kids to bed, and then on the weekend just do your projects and just get into that rhythm. But no matter how much you love your spouse, no matter how well you get along, you need other couples. And so we are talking about this and just a few tips that came up. Tell them the first one. I love this.
Yeah, sometimes you need to be willing to just cut relationships out of your life that are not benefiting the marital relationship. And this was something that Kevin and I definitely had to do in the beginning of our relationship. And still we have times where we're going through a season and we just know that there is maybe another couple in our life that just isn't helping us through this season. And because of the criticalness of whatever we're going through we have to just say, you know what, this is not the season for that relationship. Right now we need to hang around people who are going to be encouraging us and strengthening us in our relationship. So we have to be really intentional about those choices.
Yeah, who you hang out with. And the second thing is put yourself in position to meet other couples. You're in a community group. Who in your group, maybe this week, identify, hey, we kind of connect. Let's make time to go hang out with them. We have a marriage retreat coming up. If you attend this marriage retreat, guess what? You're going to be with a room full of other people who want strong marriages. And that is a good common denominator with other people who want strong marriages. So don't be like that gazelle that gets outside the herd, because that's who the lion eats, right? You get your friends, you stay in that pack, and you have that accountability and that encouragement, and you be aware of who you're allowing into your life and who you're making time for.
Yeah, and those couples that are really beneficial to your relationship, those don't just happen by accident.
Yeah.
You really do have to be strategic with your time. Identify the people that you want to be in relationship with and make sure those relationships are on your calendar. If you don't, the time will just go and you will wish that you spent time with them, or you will wish, looking back, that you had better friends and you won't have them.
But you'll have watched lots of shows. No, I'm kidding. The third thing is this. So marriage mentors, people to do life with, and then somebody to pour into. And take that wise counsel that you have, take those advice that you've had, even if you feel like you don't have anything to offer, I promise you do. You can connect somebody to the right resource. You can encourage somebody. You can share what not to do. But being a mentor and investing in somebody else is something that when you send it out, it's like a boomerang. It comes right back to you, and you actually are going to be sharpened as a couple because it's going to accelerate your guys' own growth. Because we forget. There's things that we talk about. Oh, what should we do? How should we pour into this? Oh, wait, are we doing that? And so it helps sharpen you and keep you from drift. And it's so rewarding allowing God to use you to speak into another person's life. And so take advantage of that. And here's the cool thing. You're in community group. So in community group, you're actually going to have the potential to take on all 3 roles. There'll be times when you're speaking into somebody else's life. There'll be times when you're doing life with each other, and there'll be times when you're receiving. So think back now as you begin to go into this discussion, reflect on, man, who are those people that I respect? Who are those people I need to spend time with? And what can I offer into my group? That's the marriage team. You're never meant to do marriage alone. If you're doing it alone, you're vulnerable. And why would you put your marriage at risk? Get around other people and build a strong marriage team.
Thank you so much for joining us this week to spend more time in community and learn how to grow your marriage. We are excited for the tools that we're learning, and we hope that you'll go back to your group and apply what you've learned.